Joining us now is Oklahoma Congressman and member of the House Intelligence Committee, Markwayne Mullin. Thanks for being with us tonight, Congressman.
Thanks, Bianca. Thanks for having me on.
So we want to start first with the energy policies and, Biden really enabling Putin to commit these atrocities against Ukrainian people by continuing to buy Russian oil.
Yeah, when we're spending $17.5 billion a year buying Russian oil directly because the policies that Biden's administration has put in place, it should be an outcry for the American people. The American people should be extremely, extremely loud and frustrated by this because we didn't have to do this. We're importing 500,000 barrels of petroleum. Now, we have enough petroleum capacity that we export petroleum. We shouldn't be buying petroleum from Russia, and we import 500,000 barrels a day and 200,000 barrels of crude. If you think about that, just the Keystone pipeline itself would have been bringing in 850,000 barrels per day. Mm-hmm. So these policies led to this, and we wouldn't have to be funding the war in Ukraine if Biden wouldn't have taken us down this path to begin with. And we can still stop it, and he could stop it immediately, and then just simply fast track the permits that are already in place, that have already been applied for, fast track them, meaning just approve them, and allow American oil to come back online, and we can replace that today with the amount of oil and permits we have without even doing the Keystone pipeline.
Congressman, developing tonight, we want to get your take on this. The Biden administration weighing a visit to Saudi Arabia to discuss pumping oil this spring. This, of course, is the new national average for gas here at home, surpasses $4 a gallon. I saw some places in Los Angeles where it's $7 a gallon.
Right. I filled up. I drive an F-250 Power Stroke, and I paid $4.50 a gallon yesterday for diesel. I mean, think about what it's costing us to ship freight from place to place. And for our president to talk to Saudi Arabia, OPEC, the cartels, the OPEC, when we should be energy independent right here. When Trump was in office, we were well within line to become energy independent. And for us to go to another country, they had to be laughing at us. I mean, literally, they had to be laughing at us because the policies that the Biden administration has put in. Once again, all they have to do is reverse the policies that he put in place January 20th of 2021. And we could go right back to the Trump policies, and we wouldn't be asking OPEC of all the places, to up their production and, by the way, ship us more oil so we can get away from Russia oil when we have more than enough on our own property.
And, it's not along party lines. It's a little perplexing now because you have House Speaker Nancy Pelosi joining other Democrats in a bipartisan effort saying stop buying Russian oil. You mentioned petroleum. Joe Manchin, a Democrat, said that we need to stop importing all Russian petroleum. So what gives with the president holding out? And Jen Psaki saying that it would cause our prices here to, surge.
Well, keep in mind, Pelosi is saying that. At the same time, she's from California, and California imports the largest amount of Saudi oil than all the other lower 47 states combined. So they have a lot of policies that doesn't make any sense. She says that right now because it's popular, but she's not proposing any legislation to move it forward. If she wanted to go around Biden and call his bluff on this, she could bring a bill tomorrow. We're going to be back in session tomorrow. She could bring it tomorrow. We could vote on it at 6:30 tomorrow evening, and she could get it back on the president's desk within 24 hours.
Let's set the alarms here.
Doesn't want it.
Let's set the alarms here. Want to get your take on that Zoom call over the weekend. Zelensky, 200 senators and members of Congress over the weekend. He has been calling for that no-fly zone, really pleading. Florida Senator Marco Rubio told ABC that this would instigate World War III. Let's listen and then get your reaction.
I'm not sure a lot of people fully understand what that means. That means flying AWACS 24 hours a day. That means the willingness to shoot down and engage Russian airplanes in the sky. That means, frankly, you can't put those planes up there unless you're willing to knock out the anti-aircraft systems that the Russians have deployed, and not just in Ukraine, but in Russia and also in Belarus. So basically, a no-fly zone, if people understood what it means World War III.
Despite a lot of emotion from Zelensky and the people in Ukraine, your reaction to standing firm and not implementing a no-fly zone?
Well, I don't think it's the United States' role to implement that right now. I think the European allies, their neighbors of Ukraine, they should be implementing it. As far as the senator saying it could start World War III, I mean, technically, yes, but let's think about this. Russia's economy has tanked faster than what we even projected. And what I say by we, the intelligence community, what we even projected would happen. Their currency was already at junk status to begin with. And it's already dropped an additional 40%. Their stock market was closed 3 days last week. We projected to be closed again this week. So Putin can't afford to have a World War III. He can't afford to do that. So he might threaten a lot, but if our NATO allies actually took the lead in this, and then we back them up, then I believe we could enforce a no-fly zone. But it's how important is Ukraine? To me, if I was Europe, I'd be very afraid of Russia taking Ukraine, because if Russia takes Ukraine, they're going to control the major energy supply to the rest of Europe. Right now, Russia supplies 40% of Europe's energy. Ukraine covered between 20 and 30%. And when they get control of 70 to 80% of the rest of the energy sector, they control the economy throughout Europe, because energy is the backbone. Energy is the main supplier for economy. Without cheap and affordable and consistent energy, you can't have a strong economy. And so if I was the allies, I would be thinking about enforcing this.
And Congressman, you know, Americans need hope. They are watching this news, and it is scary to hear World War III, nuclear, and then, you know, here at home to know our borders aren't protected. Our economy is not solid. What do you say? Right. The midterms are coming. What's your message?
Well, we got to put America first and put politics to the side. Because we should be shoring up our economy. There's no reason for us to be spending $30 billion or $30 trillion in debt right now. There's no reason for us to continue to be spending in this manner. And if we start putting economy policy first, if we start understanding that limited government is the role that Washington, D.C. should be pushing out, then we could build our resources again. And what I mean by that is Washington, D.C. never creates jobs. And underneath the socialist agenda that Biden administration is pushing, they think a bigger government is the way to control the economy. That's not what sets an economy strong. What sets an economy strong is when the government it sets a policy that is conducive to entrepreneurs to have a strong economy.
Entrepreneurial spirit, capitalism when it was work. Thank you so much, Congressman Mullin. Thank you for your time.